Here's the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I find that one of the best ways to really test and review any tech is to actually use it. In fact, I love ignoring all the hype and just go out there and really use the damn thing, you know? And for the last few days, I've been doing exactly that, pushing the Galaxy S25 Ultra to see what it's really made of. Is it really that much better than the S24 Ultra? How does it compare against other flagships in the competition? Is it really that much better than the iPhone? These are all big questions, and while still early, I get the sense that Samsung wants to let the quality do the talking here. I'm Alex and I make down-to-earth tech videos to hopefully help you with your tech decisions. I'm not claiming to be a Mr. Know-it-all here tech guru, right? I'm just a dad passionate about tech, more interested in how these devices can really help in just everyday stuff. My videos might not be the first to come out, but I hope that my hands-on approach here gives you a better sense of, what's really like to actually use this product. With that said, let's tackle some of the burning questions that you've been asking here. Now, of course, we got to talk about the infamous shutter lag. I wanted to include this in the video and put it right at the front because it's something that many people have been asking and lots of you have been complaining about Samsung either ignoring this issue. I personally don't experience it that much, to be honest with you, but I have seen it with the S24 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. But I think sometimes people kind of they call it the shutter lag issue, but and you can tell me in the comments as well if that's what you mean. But I think what the problem really is the blurry images that it generates when you're trying to take quick photos of something that's moving, like a pet or a cyclist or stuff. So I brought the phone here to a busy space. I think sometimes it's just better to get out of the studio to test the stuff, right? And we're gonna see if we can replicate this issue. So come with me. So it looks to me like it's pretty fast at 1x. So our 50 meg is a little bit slower, the shutter, and zoom in. So zooming into 3 or 5x is actually still quite fast. But when you zoom in beyond 10x, it seems to really be a little bit slower, which to me is kind of expected, right? I mean, the phone has to process that image and we're kind of asking a lot, I think, at that point. But normal 1x of at least, things like cyclists and cars and people walking by seems okay to me. I'll do some more tests of even faster things, but at the moment, I'm pretty happy with this, but let me know what you thought. The next thing to do really is to try this in some low light scenarios as well and indoor shots, but let me know if you think I missed anything here, because I think those scenarios were the ones that were reported before. A quick note as well before I forget, like every year, I purchased my own device, but this year, for the first time, and I'm really happy about this, Samsung actually let me have this early sample here, which means you are getting my videos a bit early this year, but I just thought I'd mention this because I think it's important. Not everyone does it, but it's just being transparent here with you. Not that it changes my views in any way at all, I just think transparency is very important in this job here. Another big question has been battery performance. Even though it's early days, and I keep saying I try not to review battery in the first couple of weeks, but I've noticed something quite interesting. The battery feels slightly better than the S24 Ultras just in these first few days, so take that with a massive pinch of salt. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But I did notice something very curious when filming the screen just earlier today. I saw these flickering bars that I'm trying to show you here. This often happens when you record a screen with low refresh rates or when they drop dramatically. I turned on development options here on the phone just to see what the refresh rate is, but the refresh rate doesn't always display clearly on this phone. I don't know what that is, but whatever Samsung is doing here, it seems to be helping with efficiency. I will have a deeper look into this in my next videos, but if it is a smart optimization, great. But if it's a shortcut, I'm not sure. I hope it is the former, but we'll have to test that. If you do know more details about this stuff, let me know in the comments. The display itself is, without question, the best display I've used on any smartphone. I haven't used every smartphone out there, but I have used the main ones. Samsung screens are known for their vibrant colors out of the box. Some people love that. I don't typically like it. I usually tone down the greens and blues, but this year, I didn't have to adjust that much. It feels like Samsung's colors are becoming a little bit more natural by default, which is great to hear. Maybe it's a sign of maturity as a brand, I don't know. But colors just look better to me out of the box now. Watching content or gaming on the screen is so good. I mean, I can't wait to waste a few hours on this. I mean, testing this for you. It's just a delight to use. I said this before with the S24 Ultra, and it's even truer now. Of course, we gotta talk about Galaxy AI, but I'm gonna put my own spin on this. AI, of course, is everywhere now, but for me, it's about context. That's the best way I can describe how AI can be useful for us. Apple Intelligence, for example,
just to draw a massive unfair comparison here because it doesn't feel ready, but it does feel by design quite reactive. Whereas, you know, Galaxy AI at the moment is already kind of anticipating your needs. Here's a great example that just happened today. After a very frustrating and freezing run, wet weather, kind of UK January weather yesterday. I'm not joking, it was the worst run ever. I mean, I felt great afterwards, but during it, I was in pain. Didn't think much of it today though, but my new morning brief on the S25 Ultra, you know, when I opened it this morning, it was such a nice kind of, one of those things that happens in tech, not very often, but it goes, you feel like, oh, that's a nice touch. It suggested me, and I hope it's not a coincidence, it suggested the best time to go for a run today to avoid that bad weather. Now, that's the kind of context-aware stuff that in AI that I appreciate. Features like AI Select is way better now, it's a lot smarter. And Writing Assist, which is probably one of my favorite features from last year's Galaxy AI version, actually feels a little bit more useful now. Don't get me wrong, it was already pretty good, but I'm finding myself correcting it less and less now. Anything that saves time for me, you know, it's great. You know, call it Galaxy AI, Apple Intelligence, whatever. I really appreciate anything that saves me time. Now, before we go into the cameras, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers. You know, there's way more videos about the S25 Ultra coming out, but I just thought I released this one now because there's enough to talk about. But whether you're here for my Mac Mini reviews, Samsung videos, Honor reviews, any sort of, I love tech, right? I'm just passionate about this stuff. Or maybe just curious about tech and content creation. Sometimes I talk about that stuff as well. I really appreciate you. That's all I wanted to say. I'm not doing this full time yet. I still handle most of the stuff here by myself. But with your support, maybe one day I will have a bigger team. I will be able to do this full time, but that's the dream. Now, ignoring all the cheap stabs that I'm hearing online, and people are making some really silly, like very cheap sort of statements like, it's the same, it's boring or whatever. I'm the one who said before, Samsung has become boring, but that was like 2 years ago. I think we should go past that now. No phone really is making it an exciting, massive change in design. I think a lot of the changes will be in software. And I think, to be honest, most of these people that are saying this are very biased towards Apple. I love a lot of Apple stuff, but when it comes to smartphones, I don't know. It's just, the software is stale. iOS is just feels dated. But I really think this is not about iOS versus Android. I really think that when it comes to the cameras, they are excellent. There's enough change in here that I think is worth mentioning, even though the hardware is getting on a bit. Samsung do need to upgrade this a little bit now. But I do have a suggestion for Samsung because there's something here that I don't really like. With the Snapdragon 8 Elite 4 Galaxy that we've got here, and all the advances within that, it's an amazing chipset, right? I was hoping for some new modes in the camera mode, like, you know, Honor, for example, they give you this multi-frame mode that, I don't know if they did this because of a shutter lag thing. And OnePlus did that as well. Very easy, it's like a little running man on the Honor interface that basically just take a few shots in a burst and they all like look absolutely frozen in time. That to me, as a mode on the phone, would put an end to the shutter lag conversation and we could move on and actually enjoy the phone. On the flip side, Samsung's interface now for adjusting photo styles, I really like this. You know, it's all on the fly, and I think, to be honest, it's better than Apple's. It's ridiculous to even say that, right? A lot of the time, Apple's interface UX is the one that gets copied because it's so good and easy to use. So it's a rare thing, but I'm sticking with my guns here. I just love how they've done this here. It's rare actually, right, to say this, but the user experience on the S25 Ultra when it comes to the camera and changing the color and basically making it your own, to me looks way simpler and more intuitive than the one on the iPhone. And the addition of log video now on this phone is incredible. I mean, better late than never, right? But if you're not familiar, it's like having a blank canvas for video. We see this in like raw images for photos. It's a similar thing for video. It lets you create your own style with color grading. It's been a few years that we've been waiting for that because Apple with ProRes log, it's been there for a couple of years at least. And it just opens up so many creative possibilities for you. Now, the first thing you might have in your mind is, okay, this is just good for content creators, not really interesting for me. But more and more, we're all using videos in one way or another. And, you know, we're all kind of looking the same out there on Instagram and TikTok or whatever. So I think for anyone wanting to make their videos stand out a bit more and and apply your own taste to things. We all have different tastes, right? Whether you're building your own, I don't know, your personal brand or whatever, you're promoting a shop, this is a great way to make that, you know, your unique style. More on that later. In my next video, I'll probably include a few samples in there for free or whatever. I'm just excited about this because yeah, it does bring this on a video level that we've only seen on the iPhone. Samsung's trade-in offers are actually worth mentioning this year. Now, I never really talk about this, but they're giving you up to $900 in credit in some regions. That is insane value, or it can be if you get a good deal there. So definitely check that out if and when you make the decision. I'll have some links down below for you. Now, some of you may have noticed this already, and thank you for your feedback on this, but I wanted to make this video and some of my other videos as well more immersive for mobile viewers. I know this is a fairly small channel when it comes to the tech world, but I want YouTube to kind of make this more standard. But you know, the problem is there's no black bars on the side, which is great for you if you're watching this on a mobile, but YouTube does penalize me for it. You know, they're not showing my next videos. So if you enjoy this, please share it with your friend, you know, anyone who likes tech, really drop it on a WhatsApp group, because YouTube wants you to stay on the platform, right? And if I'm losing that ability to get people to stay on the platform, I do need your help to kind of, you know, hit that like button if you like my content, right? If you're new here, I really appreciate you choosing this video to watch, and have a look around on the channel after this. And if you like my stuff, it will be awesome to have you here. There's lots of cool stuff coming up. Going back to the S25 Ultra, ultimately, I think Samsung nailed it this year. I wasn't 100% happy with the S24 Ultra before. I just didn't get the same warm and fuzzy feeling from the day one. I mean, there was lots to talk about then because of the new display. It was kind of very new then. But I don't know, there's something in here that feels like the S21 Ultra and like the S23 Ultra. So it's almost like, you know, they skip the years for good phones. That's been my experience anyway. Samsung seems to really be letting the quality do the talking here with the S25 Ultra, and so far, it speaks volumes. Come say hello in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I hope to see you soon.